Have you ever noticed the calmest person in the room is the one people start talking to? Lockin, Mystic, Inner World first. Calm demeanor isn't personality, it's emotional regulation. Most people are operating from reaction. When you're not reacting, you stand out. People open up to who feels stable. For the conversations that I previously did have and everything, I noticed a common pattern that people will associate and be more open up to people who are grounded and calm and operating from a place where they're not going to be overly judgmental. The ones that make people feel understood, it is not chaotic, not loud. How y'all doing? Good. Not trying to be over like chaotic, loud, aggressive, argumentative, argumentative. They search out for the ones that they can fully be themselves. They don't have to put on any type of act at all. Just think about it. When you're out in real time, in the real world, people don't go to they don't go to the person who is the most loudest, being up in everybody's faces. Being up in everybody's face. They search out for the ones that they know they can share information with. And instead of giving them what they want to hear, they most likely is going to give them constructive criticism, or they're going to remain eye contact, listen, not try to respond to them automatically, try to compete with them when it comes to them trying to talk to them. And I have these examples of how I was going of me going through my experiences and realizing this. The gym, when I'm at work, and by strangers, or there's people I know in general. So at the gym, it's one person that he came up to me, he was all talking to me about like, he was all saying to me, like, I noticed that you got a lot leaner and everything like that. Like, have you been losing weight or anything? I really told him I haven't really been losing weight and anything like that. Now, this might be more of a advice, but he was all telling me about how he was trying to fix up his diet and all that. So I gave him a few pointers and everything like that to help him out. Because the food he was pretty much eating was kind of like in his situation when it comes to his job. So he didn't really have the time to fully, actually probably had the time to actually fully like prep the food that he actually would like to, well, that would be better off for him to consume. There's another time where how I was at work when I was picking up shifts, and how the one person, the person I was working there, they felt cool with telling me about the whole story about them messing with a girl that was like well above their age at the time, and how she lured him in. She didn't lure him in, but how basically he wasn't really expecting her to give him anything. And that ended up happening. One time when one of the brothers, he called me up when he was going through something with his girl. And he was just chopping it up with me, talking to me about what was going on, say he wasn't really like, say he was feeling hurt and he was feeling hurt within himself. Came it up, talked it up with me. We talked it out. We talked it up for a little bit. And yeah, in all these conversations, I'm not really trying to compete with them when it comes to trying to go back and forth, right? It's more so I'm not really neglecting what they're saying, but I'm shaking my head, I'm listening, I'm being understandable. Not trying to be this person that is trying to look at their decisions and look at all the faults that they did in that decision. I'm operating from, okay, no one's perfect. If I put myself in his shoes, what would I would do? Most people don't operate from discernment, so that lack of it can cause people to not really try to talk to them that much, because people definitely do respond to somebody that does have that stability to them and know how to control their emotions. Because nobody wants to be around someone who is just going to be so negative. They want to be around somebody that carries themselves in a really strong manner and it's not going to sit up here, talk down upon, or just talk down on them at all. Not giving them everything they want to hear, but is responding in a good way and not sitting up here trying to make it seem like they're a bad person. Because at the end of the day, we all got things to us. No one's perfect out here. We all got flaws that we are striving towards and we're getting better at. While hopefully we're trying to get better at. You must understand that when it comes to like building connections and everything, you don't have to be the loudest person. You can be this person that is just quiet, stay to themselves, and ultimately that brings in genuine connections because you're not trying to put on this act for nobody, being up in everybody's face. Not going around telling everybody's business. No, you're staying aligned with who you are as a person, and you're building your inner world, which will lead to outer world results. And it all starts within. I'm telling y'all, it all starts within. And from my experience, I noticed this. When you start to shift within yourself, the outer world starts to follow it. But if you try to switch up your tone and you try to switch up how you are operating, then it's like you're going against the true self that you really are. Now, of course, you're going to have to make adjustments and you're going to have to be better and try to adapt and try to make things happen out here. Using the leverages that you do have to ultimately make your ideal reality. And each proper step comes along when you're willing to grow, you're willing to learn. You're not letting the ego try to make you feel comfortable of where you are at. Each small step that you are willing to accept and realize where you are lacking and work on that is going to compound over time. I'm gonna pin my ancient codes down in the comments. Leave it in the description. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. We forever lock in. All give praise to the Most High. Send peace and love.